Today I'm going to teach you about the psychology of a men's physique posing competitor. Stay tuned for more.
Let's go.
Hey, what's up guys? Mitchell Spadafore here, IFBB Pro, and I'm here at Critical Bench HQ, and today I'm going to teach you about the psychology of a men's physique competitor. So when I'm posing personally, I'm thinking about like 10 different things at a time. I have to remember to squeeze particular areas, to remember personal imbalances. So for me, my right shoulder elevates sometimes when doing my back pose, so I have to remember that I need to lower my right shoulder in order for it to be synchronistic, because everything needs to look aesthetic. It needs to flow, essentially. So I'm gonna take you through that, like I said, and break it down of the things I'm thinking about, even in regards to transitions. So when I break things down, I'm thinking about the transitions, I'm thinking about my head positioning, I'm thinking about specifically muscles to hold, and one of the probably the most important thing of posing is you have to be able to control your breathing. If you cannot control your breathing, you will not be able to hold a pose. And if you're not able to hold the pose, you're not as likely to win. And the more often you practice holding poses, the better you will get at them. Before I forget, I want to remind you guys to download the free ARNOLD report in the pinned comments below. Another tip that I want to give you guys while I'm doing my posing practice is I will hold each pose for as long as I can, okay? Now, with holding each pose for as long as I can, I'm holding that similar to being on stage. So for example, a pose I like to, this is probably my go-to pose. This is my initial first pose as I get on stage. So something I'll do as like an exercise or as a posing practice is I'll hold this. But as you can see, it's hard to hold. I'm thinking about squeezing my arms, squeezing my oblique, squeezing my lat, squeezing this lat, keeping my feet in the ground, keeping my hips turned over there. Now, like I said, you have to be able to control your breathing. You have to. If you can't hold your stomach, like you have to hold it. Watch, I'll hold it for. So it's just as long as you can. And you get to the point after 30, 40, 50 seconds, and it hurts. And the longer you hold that when that hurts, the easier it will be on stage. Remember that. So the harder you push yourself in practice, in anything that you do with any of these tips, the better off you will be. The harder you push yourself, the more dedicated you are, the more consistent you are, because consistency is key. The things that you do every day on a day-to-day basis, that's what your life will be in the future. And I learned that in the beginning of bodybuilding, that the more work and effort and time and dedication that I put into the sport itself, the more rewards I'll reap. And I didn't really realize that until after high school, and you realize that you get what you work for. I've trained 6 to 7 days a week for the last 6 years. And people would ask me, why don't you take a day off? Why do you train so often? Why are you here so often? Why are you here for 2 to 3 hours a day? Don't you get sick of being here? No, because I love it. It's my passion. Like I genuinely love this stuff. It makes me feel alive. When I got goosebumps talking about this right now, but when I don't have the gym, I'm not myself. I'm not the fullest version of myself. I don't have the mental clarity. I'm just not everything I'm able to be without the gym. So before I get a little too off track there, let's go back into the men's physique posing. I'm gonna demonstrate my routine, and then afterwards, guys, I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking about in my head. So I'm literally gonna go through everything of how I'm visualizing myself on stage. Now, the other thing that I was even discussing with Chris prior was when I'm posing, I'm visualizing myself on stage. I'm gonna repeat that. I'm visualizing myself on stage so that when I'm on stage, it's so much easier because I already did it thousands of times. If you practice, let's say 10 times a day, going through your routine one time, 10 times a day, times 7 for the week, that's 70 for the week, times 4 for the month, that's 280 for the month. That's 300 times that you went through your routine, that you practiced, that now you feel that much better. So I'm gonna get into that. Visually, I picture myself on stage and I know what the stage looks like because I've thought about it so often. So you're usually off to the side. We have other competitors behind us and stuff waiting to go, and everyone does their individual routine. Now, after you do your individual routine, everyone waits off to the side and we do our lineup. So I'm gonna go through that. Of course, guys, I can't forget to smile. That's the other thing, you gotta practice your smile. That's just my little routine. So as you can see with my transitions, I try to make everything flow with your hands, with your feet. You just want everything to flow really synchronistically. It's kind of like art, basically. Like you're creating an art presentation through your posing. So what I'm trying to accomplish here, and I'm still going to talk about what was going on in my head as well, but I want to talk about just how you have to make it flow. And when you feel like it's rigid or you feel uncomfortable, it's going to show. It's always going to show. And how much you practiced will show on stage. It shows every single time because I see so many competitors that they give all the time and dedication to the cardio, all the time and dedication to all the food. They look phenomenal. They look amazing, but they miss one of the most important aspects, which is posing. 2014, I did my first show. That was a local show. That was the Michigan State Championships. And then 2015, I took it upon myself to start doing national shows. With a national show, I took first place in my class at a local show. And from there, I was like, I'm going to win my pro card and I don't give a damn who's getting in my way. Everyone else was like, you're not going to do that naturally. You're a natural competitor. How are you going to do that? How are you going to compete against everyone else that is on performance enhancers? And I didn't care. I didn't let that bother me because the only thing I cared about and the only thing that I knew was I was gonna win my pro card that day. And I said this affirmation, and this kind of gets into the mentality aspect as well. I said it doing cardio, I said it in the gym, I said it in the morning. I remember one time, I was 2 weeks out up in Munising, Michigan in the Upper Peninsula. And my cousin asked me to go there, and I was like, I probably shouldn't, I'm prep, blah, 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 and I did it anyway. Brought all my food, didn't cheat on anything, ate every single meal, tracked every single meal, did every ounce of cardio, snuck into a hotel gym up in the Upper Peninsula, and while I was doing that cardio, I'll never forget it, because I get goosebumps saying this, it's a memorable story. It was almost like a breaking point, where I doubted myself doing the cardio. I was like, I don't know if I'm able to do this. I'm in the woods, I'm jogging in the woods by myself. I got no music, no nothing. And I was like, this is it. This is the point that I needed by myself to push through that breaking point to believe that I could truly do it. And what that affirmation was, I will win first place in my class at Junior Nationals on June 17th, 2017. And as you could tell with how clearly I said that, I've said that thousands and thousands of times. You basically want to get as comfortable with posing as possible. You want to make it like second nature. So basically, when you're on stage, you're posing with your eyes closed. Because when you're posing in a mirror, yeah, you can critique yourself, you can kind of change things around, but one of the most important things with posing, men's physique, bodybuilding, classic physique, you have to practice without a mirror. And I recommend recording yourself on your phone or even recording yourself in some way so you can see and critique yourself, because you'll start noticing little things. And I remember in the beginning for me, I would always sink my head. I would always dip down and look down at the judges like that, because I'm like, oh, I look down and then they'll be able to see my waist and I'll look a lot bigger. That's not the case. You want to stand as tall as possible and just let it flow. Thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate you coming on here and watching the mentality of a men's physique competitor. I think this video is really unlike anything else because I've never really seen anything like that where it goes behind the scenes of what goes through a men's physique competitor's mind prior to posing, prior to getting on stage, and little intricate details. So I was really excited to tell you guys all about this. Don't forget about that Arnold report in the pinned comments. You guys will really enjoy that, especially finding out some more psychology behind bodybuilding and Arnold's motivation himself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with any questions you may have, maybe anything that you want to learn about posing yourself, and thank you for watching.